Hi you guys, I hope you're all well. It is another gloomy rainy day, but we are joined today with pretty much all of my alocasia and one anthurium. And today's to-do list is pretty much just chill, stay cozy and out of the cold, wet weather, sip on a beverage of comfort. For me, we have iced chai today, and repot these alocasia and then the one anthurium into like no drainage pots or glass jars. The problem is they're all pretty small, they all dry out relatively fast, and the weather's warming up, spring is coming, growth is happening, we have a leaf starting to unfurl, and the bottom line is they're only going to get thirstier as the season progresses. So to save my sanity, I'm going to put them into no draining vessels. This is going to be somewhat experimental for me because at the moment I only have six or seven plants growing without drainage, and it's going fine, and I love my alocasia collection, so it's a slight risk putting them all into no drainage, but I feel ready, and today you are going to join me as we get that started. Please remember, as you're watching, if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content related to houseplants, basic like stuff, doing stuff around the house or around town, chilling, relaxing, etc., then please subscribe to this channel. And with that, let's just get into it and get started on our task for today. Okay, we should start with these Alocasia Black Velvet. I recently bought these when I went into the store for some perlite, and they were $5.75 each, so I got two. I really generally like an alocasia that is potted with two plants in the pot. So to start, I'm just going to remove the soil, and then we will pot it with a soil that I just mixed up a few minutes ago. Maybe we should just hurry up and get it. All right, we have two alocasia. Their roots look really nice, and I'm going to be potting these together into this little glass vase that I thrifted not too long ago. These root systems are not very robust for this whole vessel size, so we'll be potting it pretty shallow. And I mixed this soil up just a little bit ago. It is cocoa peat, bark, leca, perlite, vermiculite, charcoal, and some pumice stones. And something exciting I saw when I was unpotting is we have a little baby new growth coming in. So that's exciting. I'm gonna face the newer growth facing outward. So these will be together like this, and then I'll fill in. All right, and that's going to be that. As this adjusts over the next couple of weeks, I'll just be checking on it, watering it, seeing how fast the water is evaporating and getting absorbed by the plant, and checking to see if the roots show any signs of distress. So this will be the Alocasia Black Velvet. And next we'll move on to I think the Alocasia Melo Rugosa. All right, so this is my Rugosa. This was my November plant last year, and it's suffering a little bit from inconsistent moisture. You can see these tips are getting yellow. Not all of them, but it's been a little bit of a struggle to keep it evenly moist. It has a very small root system. I bought this plant online, and when I received it, it was evident that the roots had been like smashed in the shipping box. Yeah, these roots are so weak and so unwell. Maybe I should try rooting it in water for a little while, but they're getting dried out, and this is bad for the plant. Oh, it's so little. We're gonna plant it pretty shallow. There was a growth point, but this is dead, which is kind of disappointing. But yeah, these roots are so dry. Do I have a smaller container? Let me check. Okay, I have this like old jam jar that I think will actually be a better suit. And this mix is the same that I just mixed up, so I'm gonna actually dump it back in the big pot and scoop from it as we go. But yeah, these roots are so small, and I could tell that they haven't been absorbing the moisture. The moisture has just kind of been evaporating. Okay. Kind of in like a back-to-back setup here. And then I'll fill in. Okay, so that's full, and there are no roots visible at the moment. Easy. But if I can keep the water level pretty evenly moist, then I think that this plant will have an easier time adjusting. So next, let's tackle the Alocasia Frydek. We'll put it in this vessel. Okay, this was my March plant this year, and it's doing fine. It's recovering fine from the shipping. This leaf is looking a bit unwell, but the stems are nice and firm. Let's open it up. The roots are developing nicely. The roots are already so long. These are the roots that were on it when it shipped to me, and they're actually dead. So I'm just gonna remove those. We don't need that in this soil, just like rotting and growing bacteria. Let's check the other plant too. So this plant grew this root. But the chonk is very firm. This is just some old sheath material. Very firm and green, so I'm really happy about that. You know, it will grow leaves, you know. Okay, let's actually give it a little bit more soil underneath too. Okay, now let's check this plant. This plant is doing better on the outside, which makes sense because it does have less root death from the roots that were on it when it shipped here. So we'll just pick those off. No big deal. Is it still alive? No. All right, yeah, this is nice. but we'll leave it alone. We won't disturb its chunk too much, but we will set it in the pot. Okay, and then, so this is looking nice. Let's see, I could see before a little bit of the root action, so that will help us keep an eye on it. And since this soil mix had those dead roots in it, I'm just going to kind of pick the chunks out, but then throw the most of it away. I like to try and save the large perlite chunks because they're a little harder to come by and they are much more useful. But we won't reuse like the soil because it will have a little bit of bacteria, perhaps from the rot. So we'll push it to the side. Who's next? All right, we have two more. Let's do Alocasia dragon scale. This plant has been growing really well. It's almost too tall to really fit under the camera the way I have it positioned. It's actually been growing really well, and it technically, it has been in no drainage already. This pot has drainage holes, but it's sitting in a ceramic dish that I do not drain the water out of. So I don't think that there will be too much of an adjustment here. I would like it if the roots were a little whiter. I know I could get great white, but I think I'll just put it, maybe just have a little bit more chunkiness to the potting mix so that there's a little bit more airflow. I don't want to disturb it too much, but I do want to remove the heavy soil. So we're just gonna gently, okay. Because we'll be putting it in a much chunkier soil. When I potted this, I didn't intend to not give it proper drainage. I just ended up doing so because it was drying out faster than I was able to keep on top of it. You can see like these tips here. It's not from humidity that, in this case, that's from inconsistent watering, like it getting too dry between waterings. Of course, that's still very possible in the no drainage setup. It's obviously possible to underwater and inconsistently provide moisture to the plants. It's not like a miracle solution. It will just help me schedule the waterings a little bit more space in between. Ooh, is that a root or is this going to be the start of a worm? Oh, you can see this material from the cutting from the plant nursery. All right, we'll get that out of the way, and then I have, oh, that's definitely going to be a corm right there. Oh, I snapped it. Aish. Well, it's not very well developed, but maybe I'll still stick it in. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to be putting it in this vessel, which was a coconut oil jar that I just took the label off of and washed. So let's fill the bottom. And since the roots are long, I'm going to put the roots in a little bit at a time, filling around them. height, and that's going to be our finished product. Now it is a little bit taller. We can't really capture it into the camera, but here's the soil inside. We can see, we'll be able to check on the roots and keep our eye on them. And then we have our final plant. Oh, let's clear this mess to the side. We have our final plant, which is Anthurium Clarinervium. Here she is. This was my February plant this year. For these beautiful heart-shaped leaves, and she hasn't been a problem. I haven't had any issues with it, but that's because I've been, really attentive to it. Like every day, I go into my room, I turn on the humidifier, and I check. So we have some beautiful chunky roots. I wanted to plant it in this vessel, but the root system is still quite small, so I'll just be, I think, planting it shallow. I should save this. I'll save this. This will be a little bit easier to control and to deal with, so we'll go into this vessel today. I think that looks pretty good. We will be able to keep an eye on this because it does have nice hardy roots that we'll be able to peek at. So let's just clear away this mess, and then we will water these together. Alright, so we have our new lineup in their new homes, and the last step for today will be to give them all a drink. I'm going to start with a little bit in each, and then we'll see who needs more. This is water that I already fertilized with a little bit of Grow City root stimulator and a little bit of Fox Farms Grow Big fertilizer. I used the Grow City root stimulator at like full strength, but I dilute the Fox Farms to half strength to even like a quarter strength so that we don't overdo it. And then you'll notice I didn't leave like one of those reservoirs or like a reserve system, like a layer of leca or something at the bottom. I did the soil all the way down. So I don't want to put too much water, but I do want to get the soil like fully hydrated. And we'll just go little by little. Alright, this one has just a little bit too much. So after it absorbs for a while, I'm just going to tip out the excess. This one has access, right? Yes, okay. Okay, so this Clarinervium accidentally got a little bit too much. You can see it swimming around in there. That's not what we need. So I'm just gonna pour it out. All over the table. Okay. It wouldn't be a plant video if we didn't make a mess. Okay. So we're done for today. This is our new lineup. Everybody's in their new vessel. Just to pause and reflect on what we have going on here, I might say I do wish that this vessel was a little bit airier, had bigger chunks in it, so I'll have to keep my eye on that. This one I think is the best, at least on this side it's like a maybe overly chunky, and then as you turn it, it becomes less chunky, so I would aim for something more, I guess if we turn it like in this angle, I would have aimed for something more like that altogether. This one I'm really optimistic about because it's going to hold on to its water and get those roots hydrated. It has a fair chunkiness to the mix that's in here, so I do hope that it starts growing again soon. And then the other two are just mid. I think they're going to be fine. Either way though, I will check on them. Maybe if I'm doing some other type of video, I'll grab you guys and let you know how it's going and what's going on with them. But for now, my Alocasias and I thank you so much for watching, and please remember to give this video a thumbs up. If you made it all the way to the end, maybe comment if you have any experience of your own growing in no drainage vessels, etc. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.